Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hi, Christian. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I used to well, gotta meet people. Not sure if you've met him because I don't know the regular people in this meeting, but I am a former SAS employee who didn't work directly with, but was at least very familiar with the work of Brett Smith and Andrew Larson.
I see.
So
Thanks.
they're the ones that have hooked me into this.
Great. Thanks for joining. Um, yeah. Hi, Emil.
Hello.
Start sharing the screen. Maybe we can wait another minute or two to see if we have more people joining today.
Nice to meet you, Christian, as well.
Likewise.
Right. Let me share. Put a link to the notes in the chat in case you would like to sign yourself in. We have a participant list. Hi, Andrew. Welcome.
Good morning. I guess it's not morning for you, is it?
No, it's afternoon, but that's
Yep.
all right. Good morning to you.
Hey, Christian.
How's it going, Andrew?
Long time no see.
Okay, well, I guess it's 4 past. We should probably get started. Put a link to the notes again in the chat. Feel free to sign yourself in if you'd like to. So I put a few things on the agenda. Feel free to add as we go. We can also skip topics depending on who's here. So yeah, welcome again, Christian. Thanks for joining us and for your introduction earlier. Yeah, just a couple of action items I picked up from last week meeting notes. Ben said he would prepare a demo for the maintainability topic. And we had Emil to create a repo for price workshop, which it was done, and I put a link to it. Thanks, Emil. Owen said he would create an issue about capitalizing your URI. I'm not sure if that happened or not. And Jalander was going to create a PR for the SDK, Java SDK version 03, and the link to the PR is here. So thanks for that. Oh, hi. Hi, Owen. So we're just reviewing the action items from last week. I think there was one about creating an issue related to capitalizing URI. I'm not sure if that's something you could do. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe Owen is talking, but we can't hear him. Oh. Okay, let's move forward. So first thing, we last week was the proposal for the governance and the contributor letter was merged. Well, thanks for that. So as a follow-up to that, I wanted to do something we mentioned for some time now that we wanted to do, but we didn't have a process. So basically proposing Ben as maintainer for the spec repo. I put the link to the process, and according to the process, I followed the create an issue for the nomination and a PR to add Ben to the code owners. And so the only things missing are for Ben to acknowledge the nomination, that is okay with that, and for Emil to vote, since he's the only other maintainer on the repo. So Ben is not here yet today, so maybe we can come back to this if he joins. But yeah, I assume we discussed this before. I assume it won't be any issue. Okay, just moving forward. So there are a few things on the agenda. One thing that I picked up from the last week notes is there was some discussion about the collaboration with OpenTelemetry and the semantic conventions for CI/CD observability. I don't know if anyone was able to join the meeting. If there are any updates?
I was there, and this was a kickoff meeting of the group, and it was discussed a bit how does this work formally within CNCF or within OpenTelemetry. So it was discussed what are the next steps to form this group, and it was I believe it is a technical committee of OpenTelemetry that is to approve the creation of this work group. And the pull request is written for proposing this work group to be created, and that pull request, well, I don't know who reviews it, someone in OpenTelemetry. So it's the work group will stay within the OpenTelemetry space in GitHub and in their meetings and so on, it seems. But anyone, of course, is free to join those meetings and the work group as well itself. I did only participate the first half of that meeting, the first half hour. So I missed the last. I'm not sure exactly what happened in the end there, but so it was mostly formalities, not so much technical. What is it actually that we want to do? But obviously we want to set some way to provide CI/CD observability or observability of a CI/CD pipeline, let's say, using OpenTelemetry and possibly other means such as CDEvents. So I haven't really seen if there is a proposal on the next meeting date, but I guess that will come. There is also a Slack channel where this is discussed. The OTEL Slack channel. I can maybe paste the link if no one else is faster than me there. Where can I see there? So I paste the link in there.
Yeah.
Channel.
Yes. And did you say a PR was created?
Yeah.
Or is going to be created?
It is.
Okay,
It is
yes.
created already, so I can also see if I can find that one maybe. Just a second. Oh. There's a Google Doc as well for the kickoff notes, and I guess with the Google Docs there is a PR referenced. By the way, the Google Doc is here. Yeah, did you find them? No? I have them there. And there should be a pull request somewhere. I think it's this one.
Thanks, Emil.
Yeah, this one is. Oops.
Okay, sounds good. I guess we'll probably will be good to watch this space and maybe join following
Sure.
meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Simon, for the update. Any comments or question on this? Okay. Since Ben is not here, I'm going to move the next two topics to the end. I don't know if there is anything to be discussed on the CDEvents workshop. Andrew, are you
No.
involved in that?
I know Brett's been working on it. I'm working on some tangentially related things that he may be able to take some of for the workshop. He said if he's gonna be here, he'll be late. And I haven't had a chance to catch up with him on what exactly he's done.
Okay, I'll also move it to later on then if he joins late. Thanks for the update. Maybe we can discuss this since Jalander joined. Hi, Jalander. So I put on the agenda this. I don't know if there is anything to be discussed about the Java SDK. I saw you created a PR after last week. So thanks for that.
Yeah, Andrea. So yeah, that is created and need a review and approval to get that merged. So
Okay, cool. So it's ready to review.
yeah.
Great. Thanks. Right. Okay, so the next three things are kind of issues that I brought up about artifacts, IceBomb, URI, and custom events. But maybe before we get into those, is there anything else folks wanted to bring up for discussion today? Any other topic?
Maybe, Andrea, we should say something about the CDEvents governance, the project governance. I'm not sure, or did you actually mention that in the beginning? And I was.
I only said that we merged the PR, but yeah.
Yeah, but that we also intend to have the elections for the governance of CDEvents soonish. I guess we haven't planned it, Andrea, when to start it. There is a process now that is merged that we should follow to set up a proper governance board for the CDEvent project for the first time. So right now, this is steered, for those of you who are a bit new here, it's controlled by a bootstrap technical committee that is more or less the old CDEvents committee or initiators. But now we aim to set up proper governance board.
Was the CDEvents group disbanded?
It's still there. We haven't met for quite some time, though, because we haven't really had any major things to discuss. I guess this could be one thing we should actually bring there. There is another meeting tomorrow planned according to the calendar. I'm not sure if we will have it. But this could be one thing that could be brought up there as well to make sure that we we bring people in that are used to coming to the CDEvents meeting, but not to the CDEvents meeting. There is a bit of a different scope of these two groups. So the CDEvents is more of a general, looking at events in CI/CD in general, while obviously CDEvents is focusing on CDEvents specifically. But we haven't had much else than CDEvents to talk about in the CDEvents either. So we'll see what happens with that group when there is a formal governance of the CDEvents project.
Thanks, Emil. Yeah, so what we have in the governance is that we aim to have let's say up to 5 members of the governing board, depending on how many candidates we will have. And so the term on the governing board is for 2 years to provide kind of continuity. Then Emil and myself would stay on for the next year, so we will have 3 seats up for elections as soon as we start the elections, and then those would last 2 years, and then in 1 year we would have another election then for the other 2 seats. Yeah, so we should probably set up, start with the election process. I don't know, we can discuss further offline if you want, Emil, or we can discuss it here. What is the best timing, whether we want to start it now or maybe after the holiday season?
I would say yes, there's a proposal after we should kick it off right after the holiday season and make sure everyone is back before we make any decisions there. Because I think people might be starting to leave, maybe not this week, but already next week early. So it might be to rush to have it decided by Christmas. I don't think that's really possible. I see, Yolanda, you have your hand raised.
Yeah.
Yes, Emil, and yeah, so the governance will also include any new RFCs or any improvements or additional things that we propose with CDEvents community. So because like the one thing we are working on is CDEvents translator. So I'm working with Ben actually. So to create a CDEvents translator for different kind of like source code control events. I mean, the JIT repository or Gerrit events translate to CDEvents. So we are working on the design approach that. So if you want to get it approval and then get issues and get comments or anything. So where actually we can put that for the discussion. I mean, the design proposal maybe.
Yeah, I would say that the governing board will be responsible for all projects under the CDEvents umbrella. And so if you want to propose a new project for CDEvents, I would bring it here to this meeting. Anyway, we are all here. I don't think we have a formal process for creating new project on the CDEvents until now. We have done it. We have brought it here to this meeting and just discussed if everyone is happy with it. We add it to the project.
Okay, so and once this governance is onboarded, so that will be the process, right? So it will be the new proposals will go with this proposal. I mean, under the governance, right?
So I don't think the elected governing board will change the process how we add new project for now, at least, if that's what you mean. So it's I mean, the main difference now is that we have a formal set of documented policies, and that instead of having a bootstrap open-ended team of governing people, we will have like regular elections with a cadence, and so yeah, so that's the main change. But we have not yet defined any change in terms of accepting projects into the under the CDEvents umbrella.
If I may add to that, I guess when the governing board is set up, I guess we will have a dedicated meeting series for the governing board as well. And I guess such proposals on adding new projects and things is something that could be valuable to prepare in those governing board meetings. And then, of course, it can be discussed in this more technical work group meetings as well, I guess. But that's, I mean, the meeting set up for the governing board and the rest of the project is not at all set up. So I don't say it will change, but it could, I guess, to not bore all of this community with like formalities that the project need to take care of.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you agree on
Okay.
that?
Sorry?
Do you agree on that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Right. Anything else we should discuss then about this? I guess maybe we can reconvene after the holiday season, the first. We can bring it up in the first meeting we have in January. Yeah. But yeah, if folks are interested, and so we have the policy documented in the community repo, so you can read about what are the responsibilities of the governing team, what are the rules. We have a maximum representation rule, so that no single employer company may be represented by more than 40% of the governing board. Yeah. And we have documented also the election process and candidate eligibility and so forth. So I can just put the link here. Yep.
Wow. Need to spread the news. Yeah, I haven't seen that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I was trying to
What's that?
raise my hand on Zoom and then accidentally hit the like clapping reaction instead. I was going to ask, is the CDF calendar going to be up to date? Just because I know holiday season going to interrupt availability if these meetings are Mondays. Like, so you're saying that you would likely bring up the election board the first time in January. That would be the first, the Monday. I'm not sure if people typically have that day off or are available. I guess also like Christmas stuff like that. So if those are postponed or canceled or anything, would that be reflected on the calendar?
It should be. So that's something we should also bring up here. What are the meeting cadence during Christmas holidays now? We should have that as a point. That's very.
But first I need to remove some content. Actually, we could do. Let's see how we can do this. I mean, we are close to the end of the year. We need to archive the notes for 2023, but you didn't want to do it. All right. maybe we can. Otherwise, we. Right. So I started a new document and I just put the link in the chat. So maybe we can use this one for now, and then I'll see how I can make sure. Probably need to archive the other notes into a different document, and yeah, make sure this goes into the original one so that links don't change. Yeah, sorry about that. I had no idea it was a possibility. Okay. Right, so we have one meeting every Monday. Today is the 11th. So next meeting would be December the 18th. And then we would have December the 25th, which is Christmas Day, and then January the 1st, then January 8th. No, 9. Not even. Oh, yes. 1 plus 7. Okay. Well, personally, I would be available on the 18th. It's actually my last working day. I'd be happy to have the meeting. I won't be available on the 25th or on the 1st, and I will be back on the 8th, definitely. Actually, I'm back on the 4th. So my proposal would be to cancel the 2 meetings in the middle. I don't know what people think about it.
It's the same here. On the 25th of December is actually 2 meetings. We have the APAC friendly meeting as well on 25th. So we should cancel both those meetings on 25th. And then also cancel the one on New Year's Day, the 1st of January.
Okay. Okay, I don't hear any objections, so I go ahead and cancel those. Okie dokie. Anything else? Any more admin stuff that we need to discuss? Hopefully not. Okay. Then if it's okay.
One thing I forgot to ask, were there some takeaways from the CDCon last week that were interesting for this group to mention? Or maybe you didn't prepare it, so maybe you can have it next week, of course. Just curious to see if there's anything that is relevant for us to talk about.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't prepare it for this meeting, but I can say that we had I think good attendance, maybe up to 50 people in the room.
Oh.
So I think it was positive. The audience was engaged. We had many questions, conversations. So I think it was a good event.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to review my notes about CDEvents specifically and prepare for next week.
Sure.
Okay. Right. So about artifact events, I'm going to go in the PR. So this is a PR I created as a follow-up to some discussion with Ed, with the Harbor community mostly, and also Artifactory partially. The idea is that CD events can be generated by artifact repositories. And existing artifact repositories have a larger range of events than what we have in the spec today. So this PR was starting to add some of these events and also improve add to the schema for those. I don't know if I think there was some discussion last week about this.
Yeah, I think there was quite a lot of discussion. Sorry. So there was some confusion also written here in the in the pull request. For example, that one, what the artifact being pulled means, and that's my general feeling is that we have quite some, well, I think is it 2 pull requests and maybe 1 or 2 issues now that somehow are interlinked and talk about artifacts in different ways. I'm not sure if they should be like divided into more specific parts. I'm not exactly sure. I think this one was you bring out you rearranged the buckets, right? Was it in this one? And then the next commit was, or maybe I'm confused.
Yeah. No, I mean the only other PR related to artifact event is the one about the SBOM URI. That's
Right.
a kind of
But then there's an
separate.
issue or 2 issues as well, isn't it?
There are a few issues that are kind of linked to each other. Also the custom events, I guess it's associated in a way, but I think this is pretty independent. So
Okay.
this is about having a set of artifact events to reflect what like registries do. And so for now, I had introduced the pull and delete event. Just didn't want to make too much to put too much into one PR because so what I'm doing in this PR is at the pull event, a delete event, and also add a user field where relevant, which is something that I've seen it's in the Harbor events, which I think it makes sense to have so that you can know who added a new added or deleted a new artifact from the repository. So there was some confusion about the term pool. I think the current event that we have for creation of an artifact is push. And so if we keep push, we should also use pull then for the download. If we wanted to use download, then we should maybe have like upload and download or something like that. Not a very friend of idea of having like push event and then a download event. Seems inconsistent. But I was wondering if there was any specific concern with this adding with these events.
It's actually
registries.
not, sorry, and it's actually not pushed. It's not artifact pushed, it's rather artifact published when we upload something. So
it is published. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So publish and pull might not be, what do you say, counterparts or in the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Could publish and download be as good, or because I think that's more obvious what it means.
Yeah, you're right. I was confused by the fact that Harbor is using push and pull.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I'm still a bit confused on what would you actually need a CDEvents for, saying that someone has pulled or downloaded an image or a binary or an artifact. What kind of CI/CD use case is that you want to trigger something on it or observe that it has happened? I mean, of course, I can understand from the registry point of view that it's interesting to see how often is this artifact pulled, or who has done it and such things for tracing. But I'm not sure from a CI/CD use case context itself how interesting that is. But in your discussions with Harbor, I guess that was mentioned as an important event for CDEvents somehow.
No, I mean the discussion with Harbor. I mean the Harbor folks want to be able to have a schema defined for all events that they generate. So if they say if we support CDEvents, we must have a way to define what's in each of the CDEvents. And that is why I also made the other proposal about supporting custom types, where we just define the the dev.cdevent.x namespace, and the schema for those is then the actual subject and context and schema is then maintained by the specific project, not by us. So that's and that's because some of the events they are very operational, so they're about like running the registry in terms of quota being full or replication happened, or this kind of events which don't seem relevant from interoperability point of view. I guess for the download or pull event, it seemed relatively okay for me to have it in the spec, but I mean it could also be a custom event. I mean, I think that the use case, it's I don't know if there is a specific. I mean, there could be automation built about if a certain user downloads a certain event, a certain maybe account. You could have some accounts assigned to certain environments, so that if that specific account pulls a certain artifact, it triggers some automation. But yeah, I'm just making it up. I'm not sure. I guess from observability point of view, you could probably match what you see in the downloads with what you see in the deployment events, so to provide some way to cross-check those. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess I'm just a bit concerned that we bloat the protocol with too many events for edge cases, but maybe this is a case that should be handled within the events, the core spec itself. So sure, let's go on with that, I guess.
Yeah, it seems to be, I feel like saying hold is extremely specific to Docker or Git. So I think something like, artifact downloaded might make more sense if you're trying to make it more general. I can't think of a situation where I would personally use that unless I want to be like alerted of somebody downloading something that maybe they weren't supposed to. Otherwise, I'd probably use like a, service deployed or whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe there's a compromised artifact, and for whatever reason you want to keep it available for posterity, but you want to be alerted if anyone is still using it, and using it could be part of. Well, it's a weird case, but yeah, I think download would be a fine term for it.
thanks. So I think
We're in the wrong note now. I think you're in the old note.
oh, Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's published, not pushed.
I meant to write published. Sorry. Okay. So I will update the PR with that. Was any, I think, sorry, another thing that we were discussing with Emil was where events should sit. So in that PR I created, because I created a new artifact.md file to kind of gather all artifact related events in one file. But yeah, I guess today we don't have a clear, I don't know, a clear rule how we split this. Artifact packaged, artifact signed events are something that is going to typically be generated by a build system. Well, artifact published could be something generated by either by the build system or by the registry itself, or downloaded and deleted, then would probably be generated by the artifact registry. And we're not sure whether we should try and collect all events specific to a certain subject within one file, or maybe look at within one file events that could be generated by the same system. But then again, we don't normally refer to the system that generates the event in the specification, or only in a few cases. So I guess that was open for discussion. I don't know if there are people
I guess we have the
about
same
it.
scenario for source changes, where a change created and merged could potentially be sent by some external system if that one is listening to like events from the source change system itself, but an updated event might be sent from the source change system. I mean, it could be different ways there as well, I guess. Who sends the event? So I'm not sure if the buckets here represent a sender or a publisher of the events, but rather an area of some kind. I think you were into something quite good there, Andre, in another comment. I don't remember where I read it now, on how to divide the buckets. Was that in Slack or was that in some other pull request? I don't remember that.
About the conformance,
Yeah, maybe it was about that.
this one here.
Right. The conformance groups, yeah. So exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think the original idea for splitting the events in group was that when we get to introducing some kind of conformance program for CDEvents, so we can say one tool, a specific tool is conformant with CDEvents. Of course, no tool will be able to produce all CDEvents, but we could have groups of CDEvents with a certain number of required events and maybe optional events. And so say that a certain tool is conformant if they produce all the events that are required within a certain group. And that would probably give us a better criteria for splitting the events. But we don't have that today, and so I guess the good thing is that the group where a certain event belongs to is is kind of like a soft grouping, so it's only defined in the documentation. There's nothing within the event itself that is associated with a group. So it is possible to move events across group without having any change in the event or in their version even.
Yes, so
Okay.
probably we should propose to have conformance groups as the bucket grouping described somewhere in a separate issue or pull request. Because I don't think
Okay.
we use that term anywhere, do we? Conformance group.
Yeah, no, we don't. I mean, we have not, again, on the wrong document. We have not discussed this topic in detail yet, so, but I can definitely create an issue to track this. Would it be okay then for now to keep like all artifact events in one document? Would you prefer to keep them within the build bucket or CI bucket where they are today? Yeah, continuous integration.
I guess it can be partly conformant to this if you use this artifact grouping here. It could be partly conformant to some artifact events. It doesn't mean that you send or are able to send all these events as well. So, but maybe let's discuss that in a separate issue on bucket divisioning.
Yeah, I just wanted to guess come to some kind of conclusion for this PR specifically, so that we can move forward with this. So I guess for the pooled event, I will rename it as downloaded. But I don't know if it's okay to keep this set up with artifacts.md, or if you would prefer to have everything within the continuous integration.
I think it will be simpler maybe if you keep it in continuous integration for now until we have decided maybe on a more formal way of dividing the buckets. Otherwise, you will also need to update the CDEvents.dev site, right? A bit
Yeah.
for this new bucket and do some more extra pull requests just because of that, which might be reverted later on.
Okay.
So, well, I'm fine with either or. It's probably less work if we keep it out of this pull request.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else on this topic of artifact events? Guess there was the whole discussion about the artifact scanned event. I don't know if this was discussed in the last meeting or one of the previous meetings. But I'll review the notes and maybe make a separate PR to propose something in that area based on the discussion, on previous discussion. And we can discuss it next time. Okay, for the SBOM URI change. So I guess okay, I need to fix this to be camel case. And you said, Emil, you wanted it to be an object, right? So we can have a type.
Yeah, I think that's quite good. The possibility to add, for example, if it's SPDX or CycloneDX or any other format on this SBOM, so you don't need to go to that service and try to understand what is the format of this thing I just received. And maybe there are other properties on an SBOM as well you would like to add later on. I don't know.
Okay. But you would like the type to be directly part of the spec. Would you expect an enum type?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess there are more than 2 types, even though those might be the major and the most used ones. I guess we could start off with a free text field, but of course it doesn't really help unless it is an SBOM, because then you cannot anyway know how to parse that information in a good way. Unless it's an enum. Yeah, I'm not sure. We do have quite some enums here and there, and we might not be all confident that those are complete sets of values today anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Is it good to start off with an enum and then see if people see the need for having more? Or it could be like SPDX or CycloneDX or other, for example. Then it could cater for whatever. Or if there's a third option that is big as well, I can't really say today. I don't have a strong opinion on this.
Yeah. Okay.
Or we could just add an object now and just have the URI in it for now, and then add the format as a separate pull request if we want to speed this pull request up.
Yeah, maybe we can do it like that, so it's 2 separate PRs.
Sure.
And
make an issue out of it instead.
Okay. And SBOM being an acronym, I guess it would be like capitalized like this.
Yeah, I typically see SBOM capitalized, unless I'm being lazy.
How is it now with the testing? Well, we have the, well, where do we specify URIs? Because URIs are also such. Maybe we don't actually have another property that is called URI something. Right.
Where we have this view URL where we use camel case with the capital U
exactly.
only.
Mm.
Uh,
I think this is
This-
very similar then, yeah, isn't it?
there are a few different views on this. I don't think there is a right one or a wrong one. Some people prefer to have it like this. Some other prefer it to have the capitalized.
Yeah, it should be consistent, I guess. But it looks very strange to have capital S and then small letters BOM, I guess.
Sorry, is this going to be inside a JSON document?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, my preference is typically all lowercase or all lower snake case for what it's worth.
But I guess we have camel case in other places as stated otherwhere, so we should stick with one, unfortunately. Or yes, for consistency.
Yeah, so I mean, we defined because we had some inconsistency. So at some point in the past, we defined to have like camel case as a general rule, which means that it will be mostly lowercase except for the letter in between. But then I would say, because I think like where we have URI, it's all lowercase. So maybe we should have an object called sbom, sbom, like lowercase with a URI lowercase filled as well.
That should be okay, I guess.
All right. Yeah. Okay, I will update the PR. So yeah, I will update the PRs. I will try to fix this notes document as well and update the calendar. And yeah, I guess we only have a couple of minutes left. So unless there is anything else, I would close it here for today. All right, thanks for joining. Good to see everyone, and have a good rest of your day.
Same to you. See you.
Likewise.
You too.
Take care.
See you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.